Welcome to r/top posts, where OP organizes a hoe union. Our next Reddit post is from Solidarity Sluts. Okay, I know this sounds silly as hell, but it seriously got some people angry with me. I'm in a college organization that's also big on partying. It can be fun, but sadly, it can also be risky. Most of my friends and I have had bad experiences. And kinda as a joke, I said to my friends that we should unionize. But they were 100% in on the idea, and we started a hoe union. We drew up a list saying we'd collectively skip or leave any party that 1. Let in or was hosted by a person who had sexually harassed any of us or anyone else. 2. Didn't let girls mix our own drinks or pick and open their own beers. 3. Was racist or homophobic or fatphobic or otherwise bigoted about who they let in or were respectful of at the party. 4. Tried to enforce a ratio of girls to guys. 5. If the hosts had a reputation of pushing freshmen or inexperienced drinkers to drink heavily. And the 6 of us stuck to it. When we'd go to parties and stuff was off, we would send a group chat message and all just leave for another party or go to someone's apartment. And we also told other girls at the party about why we were leaving and where, and often had lots more girls leave with us. The group chat grew from us 7 to 36. Pretty much every girl in our social sphere was in it or knew of it. With all of us sharing info, we all ended up going to parties that were much more chill. It wasn't strict or anything, like if someone in the group said we were leaving, it didn't mean anyone was forced to go, but most everyone would leave anyway because when practically every other girl leaves. But as quick as the chat grew, word that I'd organized it grew too. First, it was a couple of guys from frats pissed that their houses were no-goes for us. I told them, I don't make that decision, it's not a centralized thing. But then the school administration got involved. I was called to talk to a guidance counselor, and she said that someone had reported that I was leading a group that ostracized people. She said there was a list of people who, if they came to an event, I'd organize it so that every woman left. I said, there's not any such list, just a group chat where people have occasionally said that someone harassed them, or a party didn't seem safe. And then people in the group chat personally decided not to go. But I'm not like coordinating things. It's just the same as when one girl in a friend group is like, that guy or that frat isn't cool to drink around. And the rest of the group naturally isn't going to want to party with them anymore. She said that it wasn't a friend group. She was aware we called it a hoe union and had rules. I said that it literally is made up of friends, and there aren't any enforced rules, it's all voluntary. I then got frustrated and asked why she thought it was appropriate to involve herself in a private conversation that happened outside of school and campus and left. Am I the butthole for making that group chat? Opie, I think the better solution would have been to just look that HR lady in the eyes and be like, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. It's a hoe union, there are rules, and we are ostracizing people. So what? You can't make me hang out with someone else. I'm not 4. Hey, don't forget to include everyone in the class because we all need to be friends. Yo, it's college. If grown legal adults don't want to hang out with another grown legal adult, they can make that decision. If you want to start a club that says, hey, John Smith sucks, we don't like that guy, screw John Smith, woo, he sucks, he's bad. Well, what can they do, man? Anyways, OP, I'm on your side. Sounds like you're living your best life. Our next Reddit post is from Complex Pickle. I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I lost both of my parents within the last year. My dad had terminal cancer, and after he passed, my mom's health declined quickly. The last 3 years of their lives were incredibly hard. I moved back into their home and took a lower-paying remote job so I could be there full-time. I handled everything: hospital runs, medication, bathing, cleaning, sitting up through the night when they were scared or in pain. It was physically and emotionally draining, but I loved them and wanted them to feel supported. My brother, who's 35, lives about 45 minutes away. During those 3 years, he visited maybe once every couple of months. He always said that he was too busy or that it was too difficult emotionally. When my dad entered hospice, my brother still went on a ski trip because he needed a break. I didn't get breaks. Before my mom passed, she made her wishes very clear. Their fully paid off house and most of their savings were left to me because of the years I dedicated to their care. My brother was left a smaller amount. The will is legally finalized and everything is already in my name. Now he's calling me nonstop, saying I should sell the house and split everything 50-50 because he's in credit card debt. Yesterday, he told me I'm selfish and that since I don't have kids, I'm stealing his children's future. That comment really hurt. Now, some extended family members are pressuring me too. They're saying I should be the bigger person and that family is more important than money. I feel guilty, but I also feel resentful. I sacrificed years of my life to care for our parents. Am I the butthole for honoring their wishes and keeping what they chose to leave me? Here's what I want to know. If family is oh so important, where was all this family when your parents were dying? And if your brother is so worried about his credit card debt, maybe he shouldn't have gone on a skiing trip. OP, all of this is not your problem. Just block them, turn off your phone, enjoy your money. Our next Reddit post is from Unseen One. Buckle up, because this story is 20 plus years in the making. My husband is 29 and I'm 27. We're recently married, but we're college sweethearts and have been together for 8 plus years. For context, I grew up in a big family that wasn't always well off, but worked its way to upper middle class, and my parents are both still married. My husband came from a poorer background where his parents were divorced and his mom raised him. He really only saw his father for 1 or 2 holidays or when they were visiting the parental side's family cabin at the same time. He lived with his mom, her boyfriend at the time, and one of his half-sisters. My husband was upfront with me that he intended on dating with the plan of marriage. As such, he was honest about his home life and finances. One day, a year into the relationship, he let it slip that his mother had taken 4 credit cards out in his name while he was still a child. Not sure how or when he found out, but his mom told him that she was paying them off. Naturally, I expressed how this was not okay, and that he needed to get those accounts and cards in his control. He was hesitant to do so, believing that his mom was indeed paying them off. In hindsight, he was probably more hesitant because he still lived with his mother. He also didn't want to file for fraud because he didn't want his mom to go to jail. Understanding that his mom was a single mom of 2 kids and would have had many financial struggles while raising them, I gave his mom the benefit of the doubt. But I still nudged my hubby to monitor his mother's progress on paying them off every so often. The year after that, my hubby told me he had to file for bankruptcy because of something unrelated to the credit cards that his mother did. From my understanding, when he was a toddler, his mother claimed him as being severely autistic and filed to receive disability payments from the state. They'd been receiving these payments up until he was 23 or 24. When I first met my hubby, he told me he was autistic and truly believed he was. I have a medical background that includes experience working one-to-one with adults with autism and Asperger's. I can say with 95% certainty that this man is not autistic. But he definitely has ADD, which can be mistaken for autism sometimes. Apparently, the state was re-evaluating his case when he hit his early 20s, and they notified him and his mother that they were doing that. While re-evaluating his case, the state was still sending them disability checks. Instead of not cashing the checks, like you're supposed to in this case, his mother continued to cash the checks. A year later, the state determined that he should have never been receiving checks for disability, and they sent an invoice requesting repayment of over $20,000. The debt was in my husband's name because the checks were for his disability. My mother has a background in law and finance, and I suggested they ask my mother for advice on this. Instead, he allowed his mom to help him file for bankruptcy, and was under the impression that the debt was gone. Fast forward to 2025, when we were wedding planning and living in our own place. At this point, I suggested that my husband finally get control over these cards and accounts since we'd be sharing finances and needed to monitor those accounts. He agreed, but wanted to wait until after the wedding because his mom was already causing problems with just us trying to plan the wedding, like picking random fights and being hostile to people that we employed to help plan the wedding. It was getting to a point that we were considering disinviting her from the wedding with how ridiculous her behavior was. I was fine with waiting until after the wedding. We also met with the finance people of my family to plan how we'd join our finances. My brother is our financial planner. He looked over our financials and suggested that we meet with a colleague of his to discuss consolidating our debt. We met with this colleague who pulled up our credit reports, and we were shocked to see the scores in the reports. We knew mine wasn't going to be great, but my husband's credit score was normally in the 700s despite his mother's past antics, and now it was 590. The colleague shares his screen, and I can feel my hubby tense up when he sees his report shows $20,000 in debt. My husband texted his mother about the debt. We learned that the state has still been sending letters stating the debt still needed to be paid, but they were being sent to his mother, who never shared them with us. She then told us not to worry and that declaring for bankruptcy will wipe the debt clean. This is where we realized that hubby had not declared bankruptcy all those years ago, and that his mother just kept quiet about this still being a problem for almost 4 years. I was livid at this point and called my mother. My mother used to assist clients filing bankruptcy. While my husband's mom is texting nonstop trying to convince us to file for bankruptcy, my mom is explaining that doing that would make any big financial moves impossible for the next 10 years. There are fees costing thousands of dollars to just file for bankruptcy, and it requires multiple court appearances. My mom was urging us not to do this. I wanted to find my mother-in-law and rip her hair plugs out of her scalp. Here we are trying to start a new life and hoping to start a family in the next 2 years. And his mother, who has already lived a life built on my husband's credit, has the nerve to tell us to give up our plans for the future so the debt she caused by the disability checks and the 4 credit cards can get washed away. Not if I have anything to say about it. My husband was withdrawn after all this. It was really starting to sink in how financially abusive his mother was. Her behavior before, during, and after the wedding also didn't help. It seemed like every bridge hubby tried extending to her, she was burning. He also reminisced how his half-sister got more preferential treatment, having no fraudulent debt in her name and being allowed to do gymnastics. When my husband asked to join, he was only ever given a summer pass to the local pool. My mom was amazing and found the paperwork needed to file an appeal with the state on the $20,000 debt. A few months after the wedding, my husband sat down with my mother-in-law and told her we were now sharing finances and hoping to plan for a future where we could afford to start a family. We needed to monitor our credit and finances more closely. He asked for the cards and the accounts and said that she would have to pay him directly. She blew up. My husband didn't tell me exactly what she said, but learned that she's been running credit checks on us when she told my husband to focus on getting me to stop opening cards. In addition to that revelation, his mother said some awful things to my husband about his flaws. He didn't tell me what she said, just said that she reminded him that he's worth nothing. From what my husband said, she was then yelling horrible things about me. Before leaving, he told her that if he didn't receive those cards or accounts in a month, he would be reporting her for fraud. They went over 2 weeks not speaking to each other, which was the longest I've seen. After 2 weeks, his mom called him crying, wanting to make amends. They spoke, but no cards or accounts were handed over. Not long after that, my mother-in-law sent my husband angry texts saying, "How dare you apply for unemployment?" and that she had to pay $300 because of it. My husband just rolled his eyes and ignored her. Between what she said, her behavior surrounding the wedding, and the financial abuse, we're now low contact with her, and I don't think my mother-in-law can repair the hurt that she put her son through. He has my mother-in-law muted on all communications, so he can see the messages but can't get spammed when she finds out and loses her mind. Now we sit and wait. Wow, what a winner! She defrauds OP and the government, which means your tax dollars are going towards paying for this woman's bad hair plugs, apparently. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway. My husband, who's 60, blew our retirement, lost our house, and is hiding the truth. I, a 60-year-old woman, have an out. Should I take it? I'm struggling with the decision. My husband and I have been together for 15 years, married for 10. We do not have children together, and my own children are all grown and independent. Years ago, I moved to a different state to be with him. Now we're at retirement age, and the floor has completely fallen out from under us. He recently announced that we have to sell our house due to poor financial decisions, but he refuses to be transparent about the numbers. Here's what I've managed to piece together. He left a stable job of 30 years abruptly after a workplace conflict. He's only drawing partial Social Security. He's been day trading and lost a significant amount. He took a loan against his late mother's house, which was fully paid off, and dipped into his 401k. We're currently paying for 4 luxury cars with high monthly payments. What? He says he wants to start a business to fix this, but I feel like I'm watching a gambler double down. I've recently gone back to work part-time to help out. Here's the hot take I need. I have the option to move back to my home state and stay with my mother temporarily. I could leave the luxury cars and the hidden debt behind and try to salvage what's left of my own future. I was raised to believe that marriage is for better or worse. But is worse supposed to include financial ruin caused by secrecy? Am I a bad wife if I choose to save myself? OP, run! The problem here isn't the money. I mean, that is a big problem on its own. The problem is the lying, the deception, the secrecy. If you can't trust your partner, how could you be with them? Also, I know there are a lot of car lovers out there who really want to have, a bunch of nice cars, but to me, owning 4 luxury cars, unless you're a multimillionaire, is moronic. That was r/top post from Reddit, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.